ThriveCart QR code. The question was asked, is there some kind of integration available for ThriveCart that you can send an event ticket to somebody that can be scanned at the door? And as far as I can tell, there is not, until today. In this video, we're going to talk about how to create a QR code that can be scanned to verify a ThriveCart purchase. You can display the QR code on the thank you page, and you can email the QR code, and in this case, using Activecampaign. Now, to be clear, this is not a full-on, robust, complete solution. For instance, it doesn't handle refunds, and you're going to need to install some code on your web server. This probably won't work for sites that are hosting WordPress sites only. So with that said, let's dive right in. Now, before we actually do any kind of coding or setup, here's what it would look like. So on the left-hand side is the thank you page that would be generated by this script that we're going to create. Now, you could redirect people to your own custom thank you page. However, you won't get this display here. And on the right-hand side is basically the mobile view. And I'm encouraging people to print it out. They could screenshot it. They could save it onto their phone's homepage or something like that. When they show up to the event, on the left-hand side, I'm showing what it would look like with you scanning their QR code. Notice in this case, the iPhone's trying to find that code. It's got those little yellow brackets around the QR code. And when it recognizes it, says it allows you to open up a site, which shows up on the right-hand side. Now that's my site. This would be on your site, but it gives you information about the person, their email. If they provided first and last name, it would display the name of the product, quantity, if you have that enabled, and it's verified, and then the purchase time and date that you can then check versus some other list that you've got. This is what I mean. It's not a full-on solution. It's not comparing it to a database. This is something that you sent to them. Here's how we set this up. Inside your ThriveCart account, there's really two things that are important. One is the thank you page, and the second is making sure you redirect to there. So I've got a product right here. I'm going to edit it, and I want to go to fulfillment and the success URL. Right? My recommendation is to create a folder called QR code on your web server, and in there you're going to want to create a file called index.php. So we want to send them to a URL, and there's the success URL, your site /QR code. And then the second thing is on the checkout. The success page, in my opinion, you want to redirect to a custom thank you page. You don't want to send them to the customizable, although it does work. In my opinion, it's better to send them there. So once you've done that, you've got everything you need on the ThriveCart side. You just need the URL, and you're going to make a purchase. Here's the code you need. If you go to this link right here, and copy all of this code on this page, paste it into a file called index.php in a subdirectory called QR code, and then you need to go populate this. And I apologize, we do need to go back into ThriveCart. And really, this is the only thing that's required is this secret key. You can specify a thank you page that you want to send them to. However, if you do that, they won't see the QR code on the thank you page. So I'd take that carefully. The success message, if you want to display something, if you don't, it's going to default to thank you. And do you want to put a message below the QR code? There is none, but you might put something like print this out, save this, whatever. Now, if for some reason someone's accessing a page and it's not valid, their purchase didn't go through properly, what message do you want to display? If you don't say anything, it's going to say something went wrong. And then the last two things here are related to Activecampaign. And we'll get to that momentarily, but you need to provide a URL and a key, and then you need to create a custom field and provide the name. And that's it. So this gets installed on your web server. I've already set this up, but let me just show you where exactly I did this. So I went into ThriveCart to get this, and I go over here, I drop down into settings, I go to API and webhooks, and then view settings for ThriveCart API. So I want to copy that, and that goes right here. I'm not going to specify a thank you page URL. I'm going to use the default, which will be my QR code page. And then I've got a message below that says print this out. And then I've hooked up my Activecampaign account, which we will get to shortly. But first, let's make a test purchase. So I want to go ahead and copy that link, go here, And you know what? I'm going to actually modify this so that it has a first name, last name that's being collected. So I'm going to go ahead and make a purchase, and this will redirect me to the QR code subdirectory on my site. And it's going to display a QR code. And I can change the quantity here. So let's do a few of these guys. And I'm going to leave this as is for just a second because I think we should probably just go back and take care of the Activecampaign stuff. The three things I need to get are, well, two things: API credentials and create a custom field called QR code. And then I'll show you how to send an email. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a test purchase of 4 of these. And I'm going to click on complete order. So there it is. Now, if I scan that, that would take me as the owner back to this page and would print out what name and email I used to make a purchase. The Activecampaign, what if I want to send this person an email after they've purchased? Here's what I need to do. I'm going to go inside my Activecampaign account. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to developer, copy the URL, paste that in here. And it's actually outside. That was not right. And there's the API key, but let's just double check that that's right. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to create a custom field called QR code inside Activecampaign. So I want to go to lists, manage fields. I'm going to go ahead and create a field. I'm going to call it QR code, all one word. Doesn't matter if it's capital or small letters, but in this case, I want to keep it as one word. So there we go. I'm going to go back and set this up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up an automation that sends out an email on purchase with the QR code embedded. So let's go ahead and create an automation. Okay, I'm going to create one called QR code. And the way I'm going to trigger this, I could trigger it by ThriveCart adding them to this, but let's just make it so that when something changes, custom field that we've created. So we're going to say the contact fields, QR code from any value to any value. And I could run this multiple times. In this case, I'm just going to run it once. I'm going to go ahead and actually I'll set it to every time and click on add. And then I'm going to throw in just a 5-minute wait to have a sanity check in here just to make sure nothing blows up. And then I want to send an email, and it's going to have to be customized. Let's edit that one and use it. Of course, you're going to want to make it a little more appropriate than this. Now, one thing I need to do is I need to add some custom HTML block right down here. And I need to know where the location is for this. So I know that I just need to do that. This is a little bit simpler. It's just the image source equals %QR code %. And then go ahead and save those changes. So that's it. Of course, I would probably want to make it a little more appropriate. I could print the date and their name and all that good stuff. But for purposes of testing, this is what I want to do here. Here's where I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm simply going to refresh this and it's going to update that contact. Now what I want to do is go into Activecampaign and see that I've been added here. So there I am right there. Within 5 minutes, I'm going to get an email. Let's take a look at this person right here, which is me. So if I go look here, there's the QR code URL. I'm in this automation. And again, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to move forward in this automation without waiting 5 minutes. And then I'll go check the email to make sure the QR code shows up. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that step. And don't know why it doesn't show that I skipped, but I have skipped. So now it's time to go check my email. All right, so there's the email that showed up. Now if I was to take it to the event and get scanned, it would show information that verifies I've made a purchase. So that's how you can use QR codes with ThriveCart.